All right. We are sending full thoughts and prayers that possibly we're being heard and seen. Okay, so you have an ad. At least it's not crashed on my end. I'll see if chat room loves me enough to tell me if we're rocking and rolling. We might be okay. Can we be seen and heard? Okay, all right. It looks like things are happening over here. Okay. We are officially launched. Hey guys, sorry about that. If it's your first time over at the Symphony, that shit happens all the time. At this point, we just kind of lean into it and go, technology is a struggle. Graham, you can't see and hear us, or are you messing with me? Because I just tested on my end and I can see and hear me. Are you messing with me, Graham Gintz, playtest daddy? You might be. So far, I can see and hear myself, so I'm gonna rock out with that one. So we're gonna go ahead. Say it again. He can. Okay, Mr. Live Producer. Thank you. Audio good and video is good. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Symphony, where technology hates Bridgett, and at this point, we're just laughing about it. We are back with another Symphony Lounge, and this one is going to be the GenCon2025 Retrospection. This is going to be the debriefing, and I have brought a very special guest. Not only is he my boss over at Chaosium, but a colleague in the industry as well, Brian Holland. Brian, welcome to the Symphony, babe. It's your first time over here. Welcome. Yes. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And guys, love us through just connective struggles and all the fun stuff. Brian now has audio on stream. No. So you guys can't hear Brian, or you can? Why is everything a struggle? No. I don't know what to tell me either. Hold on. Why? It's always something. Okay. Hey, Brian, can we hear you now? Talk to me now, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, hello. I can hear you.
Can y'all hear Brian now? If it ain't broke, it ain't the Symphony. We should get that on the t-shirt, Doc, and get this thing going. Brian should be audible now. There we go. We're cooking with grease. Hey, Brian, that delicious intro you just did, now you got to do it again. Sorry, babe.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy. What did I say? Oh, yes, the Gen Con afterglow.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to talk about Gen Con, especially with you and with chat or something like that.
It was good. It was good. It was almost as sexy the second time around, but I think we were officially cooking with grease, which is great. All right, guys, let's get this party started. We are going to touch base on what just happened for GenCon 2025, which took place July 31st through August 3rd in Indianapolis. Now, Holland, Brian, is from Australia, so he came a very long way to come to GenCon, and I'm in Ohio, which is a 3-hour drive, so much different durations on travel for us. But we both made the convention. We were both there in a professional capacity, representing Chaosium, which is absolutely amazing. We'll get into some of that fun stuff. So we're going to touch on convention experiences. We're going to touch on individual contributions, special programming and events. We're going to hit some backer questions, which, Nate, if you're listening, I hate you. Doc, I know that you're here. I do actually kind of love you, but Nate is terrible. And then we're also going to be doing the Symphony giveaway. Now, I'm going to restart the giveaway bot here in a second. When Streamlabs crashed, I kind of lost it, so we're going to reset up again. But there are going to be 2 giveaways tonight. Unfortunately, guys, it's 2025. I can only ship to the continental US, but we are going to be doing a Symphony swag bag and a Chaosium swag bag. So, for the Symphony swag bag, I'm going to be sending you a signed copy of my limited campaign for Cthulhu Dark, which is the Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory in soft print. And I know, very fancy, right? This is also going to come with a Symphony lanyard, which these were designed by our production daddy, Bucho, which, if you want to read the front of it, says, "Come for the horror, stay for the thirst," which is quite delicious.
There you go. Obviously a reference to vampire, nothing else.
Right, and the fact that all of Symphony are just hoes. There's also that.
Is that what's happening?
That's exactly what's happening for sure. We're some fun, thirsty individuals. But speaking of Vampire Holland, which you're amazing for that, you will also get a pair of Sanguine Arch stickers, which is Symphony's very first Vampire the Masquerade campaign that we're running right now. So you'll get those. And I stole these from GenCon. Holland, love me. Chaosium released 50th anniversary special D100s, and I stole a pair for
Yeah.
you guys. So you will get that in the Symphony swag bag, which is boss. In the Chaosium swag bag, you're gonna get a fun Chaosium lanyard badge holder, a Chaosium lanyard, the sexiest dice bag ever from our friends at Black Oak Workshops, which, Craig, if you're watching, you're literally like the best part of waking up, and also the dice there. So I'm going to get that giveaway launched for you guys now. Our apologies for not having it up and running right now. Streamlabs told me to go to hell, and I mean, I kind of went to hell and then came back. So that's what we are going to be working with now. With that being said, Holland, you ready to jump in and get started?
Yeah, let's go. I'm definitely not doing anything else in another window at the same time. Like,
Of course
we're
not.
all
Of course
here.
not. Because you're for sure at work
Work
right
never
now.
stops. Work never stops. Yeah.
Okay, before we get into our experiential overview, Holland, you've never been on the Symphony before. Can you please tell me and the community who you are? Introduce yourself to us, because you're a writer, you're a podcaster, you're a
Oh,
streamer,
sure.
you do a fuck ton of things. Like, tell us who you are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do stuff. So my job is I am the executive producer at Chaosium. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of, that is a job that entails many things we don't need to get into, but it's a fun job, and I generally lets me work with all of our different lines. So Pendragon, Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Age of Vikings. I do get to do a little bit on everything, which is really, really fun. Previously to that, I was the marketing director, which
Yeah.
was also similar. I got to do a little bit on everything, but it was less sort of, hands-on management type stuff. So that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing now. Outside of that, I am technically now, same as you, Bridget, a multi-award-winning TTRPG writer. So,
Yes.
Bridget and I were co-authors of No Time to Scream, which won the Origin Award for Best Supplement at Gamma not at Gamma, at Origins this year.
Uh-huh.
The Origin Award at Origins, same organization. So that wasn't too much of a gaffe.
Yeah, you're good.
And I won a couple of ENnies last year for Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Static, which was cool. I've also, I've written a bit of vampire stuff. Well, it was going to be, I can tell you, I don't care. I was writing a vampire thing for a particular company who at the time had the license to do vampire, and
Uh-huh.
then they lost the license to do vampire. So that vampire thing I wrote for them is now available on the Storyteller Vault. It's called Creatures Such as We. It is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition campaign. It's sort of like not campaign, chronicle. It's a two-prong chronicle. It's like two separate 6-session chronicles, one Anarch and one Camarilla, and they culminate where they come together. So you could, in theory, run this for either one group or the other. Run it for the same group where they play different characters playing different sides of the coin, or run it for two. My favorite way is to run it for two separate groups, and then at the end you bring everybody together to do a big finale, and they sort of compare notes on their investigations and stuff. So that's a lot of fun. You can find that Creatures such as We on the Storyteller Vault. So yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah, which is fun.
Absolutely amazing. So you've already impressed cast and chat enough, Brian, that the first question has landed. And that's, what do we need to do to bring you on as a guest storyteller and NPC onto our vampire game? What does that look like, Brian? Huh? What do we
Okay.
need to
Well,
do?
part of it is the fact that I haven't played Vampire in a couple of years now, since I stopped working for White Wolf. I mean, it's so long. It's been so long since I worked for White Wolf that they stopped being White Wolf and have since resumed being White Wolf in the time I've been gone. So that was cool. I could do that,
Okay.
which would be cool. I'd have a lot of fun. I do. That's the other thing. People might have seen me running for the Degenerates over on the Glass Cannon. If there's
Yep.
any members of the Nage here, yeah, they're always a fun crew. I'm running a lot of the time when I'm running stuff for promotional purposes, so for marketing to promote stuff for Chaosium,
Yeah.
it's actually usually the most consistent I actually get to play games these days.
Yep.
Because adults have lots of plans and it's hard to get the same group of people together. So the Pendragon campaign I'm playing with them is actually just really fun. It's the most consistent game I've played in years. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Freaking good for you, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last question, because we're here to talk about Gen Con, but we're at this point, you're stuck playing an NPC with us over on Sanguine Arch. What's your favorite clan? Just out of curiosity. Just asking for a friend.
Oh, okay. It's a loaded question.
Uh-huh.
Technically, unless there's been some changes to the law, technically I am a member of the ministry, so a Setite.
Oh.
And part of that is I realize, I'd like to be La Sombra, but if we're being honest, I'm a Setite because if we go into it, like if you ever come over to my house, I will just try and corrupt you into comfort. Like be like, hey, I've got beers in my. I don't drink beer. I've got beers in my house. You come out, hey, you want a beer? Like, no, I'm okay. Come on, man, you want a beer? Like, yeah, what about some chocolate? Hey, I've got fried chicken coming. I've got this. I've got pizza. You don't want any of that? Just have some. Just have some. That's just what I'm like. So I'm always trying to get people to give in to their baser instincts for normal human things. So I guess the closest translation to that is the followers of Set or the ministry, and I'm really into pagan religion stuff. So without getting too into it, so it's all probably that's where I'm at.
A
I think
corruption into comfort. Setite. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sanguine Archcast.
Yeah.
We have identified. We have identified where we are going to insert Holland into our campaign. It's going to be delicious.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We are going to hop in with our experiential overview and kind of, how we seeded into GenCon. We're going to start with what our favorite moments were, just like our personal highlight moments, and then we'll dive a little bit into that. But before we do, let's just go ahead and do the video that you guys are all waiting for because you asked me for it every year that I go to GenCon.
I'm going to turn here so I can watch it. Oh, it's going to be a delay though, isn't it?
It's going to be a slight delay. Yeah, it'd be a slight delay on us. But this is going to be the 10 a.m. vendor hall open video at GenCon. Everyone, brace yourselves because here it goes. So that is, well, they sold, what, 70,000 tickets, Holland? Is that what they maxed out at this year?
I think so. I think it was close to 80, but I haven't seen the final numbers yet. But it was, a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. They sold out all the way across the board. I want to risk showing another video. It's the video that I took of inside of Lucas Stadium, which if you've never been inside of Lucas Stadium.
Lucas Oil, yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole vibe. I'm just gonna go ahead and risk it because at this point, if it breaks again, what's the worst that happens?
We'll deal with it.
Broke again. Yeah, it is what it is. So, let's see if the Lucas video or the Lucas Stadium video works. We're gonna try it and see what happens. So, allegedly, you have seen the 10 a.m. dealer hall opening, and allegedly, you have seen the interior of the Lucas Oil Stadium, where they literally have gaming happening in the booths, and they have gaming happening in the dock. I'll redo the giveaway here in a second. They have it happening on the field and all over. So, GenCon is spread out over a massive convention center, multiple hotels, multiple areas, and things of that nature. So, it's a big boy. Holland just said it. Probably close to 80,000 people, if not more. So, jumping right into our content. Brian, what was one of your highlight moments of GenCon 2025?
I actually put this on Blue Sky last night, or maybe it was this morning. I don't know. A few different highlights. I mean, the first thing, just as an aside, I finally got to meet Bubbles Manganiello. Do you know Bubbles Manganiello?
No, wait, send help. Send help for those who don't know.
Bubbles Manganiello is Joe Manganiello's Chihuahua that he rescued, and she's adorable, and it's one of these Chihuahuas whose tongue is always hanging out, and is just tiny, and she seems very old, and he carries her everywhere, and she's got a little blanket that he carries her in, and because we played a game together on the day zero, evening zero, a playtest game, and I was lucky that he finally brought Bubbles along with him, and I got to meet Bubbles, so that was a personal highlight. Outside of that, I think probably organizing the Chaosium 50th anniversary party. Yeah. I think that was, and the way that went off, that was definitely a highlight for me. Yeah, which you were at that, right? I invited you to that. You were yeah. Right.
Yes, you did invite me, and yes, I did show up.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dope because that took place at Nikki Blaine's, which is like an underground lounge cigar bar.
Yeah, cigar. So I was last year at Gen Con, I ended up there with a couple of friends one night very late because we were just looking for some, because like the hotel bars close at like 10, which is really strange. I guess they hate making money. So we went looking for somewhere else we could go and just have it. I don't really drink, but I like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
And we found this place just around the corner, like they're still open. And we're like, oh, this is really. Anyway, we sat down there, and I was looking around, like this would be a really cool place for a Chaosium party
Yeah.
because it's like very sort of speakeasy 1920s vibes. I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely smells like a cigar bar.
Yep.
That's the only downside is that your clothes definitely stink of cigarette smoke
Yeah.
or cigar smoke,
Or
which is a
cigar
different kind
smoke.
of smell, regardless of whether or not we had a no smoking night for us. But I
Yeah.
mean, every other night is not, so it's definitely still in there, and it's underground, so it's not like they can crack a window.
Right.
But I think that was very cool. Yeah.
Oh, amazing, amazing. The party was dope. There was plenty of free food, and you had the open bar that was nice. So chat apparently knows exactly who Bubbles is, and that's absolutely amazing that you got a chance
Oh,
to
good.
meet his dog, which is awesome. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
One of my personal highlights for Gen Con, which is my highlight every time I go to Gen Con, is going to Harry and Izzy's and getting their shrimp cocktail. Holland, have you had the
Oh
shrimp
yeah.
cocktail yet?
You talking to me?
Yeah, have you had it yet? Have you eaten there yet?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Every year, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but I kind of do it because it's like a little rite of passage every year. Uh, but
Right.
I never have a whole one to myself. I'll get one and share it with a few people.
Of
I know
someone
some people
else's.
like Mark Meir loves them. And he when we went out to dinner before the theater and the round game, and he just ordered another shrimp cocktail just to have for his dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
So and he just ate. Yeah, I was like, that's which is wild.
It's one of the things I look forward to going to Indianapolis most every single year. And guys, if you've never been to, it's Harry and Izzy's, that's also owned by the same people that own St. Elmo's, I believe is the name of the restaurant.
You
They
can get
have
them at both. Yeah,
get them in both. Yeah, they have the world
yeah,
famous shrimp cocktail. So one, the shrimp are just delectably cooked. They're not overcooked, and they're always jumbo and large. But their cocktail sauce is a complete game changer. The horseradish will change your entire life. Like if you ever want Bridget to just shut up, put some of that cocktail sauce in my mouth.
yeah,
I'm unable to talk. Like when I was eating there with my friend, because I went twice and had it twice. Literally, it's like you
yeah.
take that first bite and your whole nervous system goes online, and the most you can do is just best shrimp
It's
cocktails in the
really
world.
something. But the weirdest thing about it is that it just builds up and then it just ends almost immediately. It's so
Yes.
strange. So you're like, just when you're like, I can't take this anymore, it just stops. You're like, oh, okay,
So,
yeah.
Brian, I'm going to misarticulate this, but it's so funny that you said that. So, the first time I got exposed to this was by my friend Ryan Dickerson, which, if you're watching Sanguine Arts, this is Mr. Prim. He was explaining to me the very first time that typically when you eat hot foods or spicy foods, they're oil based, which is why when that sensation hits, it lingers or it changes your
Right,
palate
yeah, yeah,
or it makes it like where it just that residue holds. Whatever horseradish is, that sauce, however it's cultivated, is not oil based. So it slaps you across the face and then it completely dissipates.
yeah. Okay, well, there you go.
So
You didn't misarticulate that at all. It was very succinct.
bam, he used an
Yeah.
actual word for things that are oil based versus not oil based. But yeah. That's what it is. So okay, so those were our highlight moments, which is amazing. So Brian, we're gonna lean into some of the programming that you and I were both a part of. And before we start
Sure.
into the 50th anniversary for Chaosium and the table in the round and more about the Chaosium party at Nikki Blaine's, the Cult of Chaos pizza party, blah blah blah. Before we get into a lot of those activations, you what is your function between Chaosium and Gen Con? Because I got that question a lot. Like, what does it even look like even trying
Um,
to organize something like this? Like, what is your
yeah.
function? What did you do?
So a couple of years ago, when we were just doing the booth, I was sort of just there, and I was doing like the external programming. So things we were doing, like I think you were on one of them, Bridget. We did like a horror panel, and we did
Yes,
like
sir.
a little Cthulhu panel and stuff like that. But we wanted to really branch out. So when I was sort of the lead on negotiating our sponsorship now. So
Mhm.
GenCon has these different tiers of very large, significant sponsorships, and we are one of them. And what's really cool is once you are sort of in the door with one of those sponsorships, they let you work with them to see how like the different things you can do within that sponsorship to promote your brand and everything.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we one of the things we did, and the cool thing about that is because there's other companies that do the same level of sponsorship, but you're not all doing the same thing. So, one of the things we had is we had like a very big graphic that was like plastered to the floor. near
Yeah.
the main entrance. So when you walked in on the floor, you would see like this big Pendragon RuneQuest Call of Cthulhu thing that said, hey, check out how cool these games are. The other thing was we had a very big, like a 35-foot banner hung out one of the main entrances to the game hall, not the
Yeah.
exhibit hall, but the game hall. That was very cool. And the other thing that we get is our event room in the Hoosier Concourse, which is, if you've been to GenCon, the Hoosier Concourse is like that main hallway that you walk into where there's all these rooms on your right-hand side and the entrances to the dealer hall are on your left.
Yeah.
And we can do all kinds of stuff like that. So last year, their main thing is like if you get one of these rooms, because they are there's not many of them, more people want them than there are rooms.
Yeah.
You have to sort of explain what you want to do with it, and what they really want to see is they don't want people to just say like, oh, we can set up a second shop in there, and that's what we'll do. Like, no, they want it to be a focus on enriching the Gen Con attendee experience, which I think is a good thing because it costs a lot of money to go to Gen Con as an attendee. I'm lucky to have gone to Gen Con 8 times, but only paid to go to it like once because I now work in the industry. But yeah, going to Gen Con, even if you are in the continental United States, is still expensive. The hotels are expensive. All of the food nearby, they jack the prices up for that weekend, which makes sense. I think I read it was, I feel like I read it, well, I might be misquoting it. I think it was like $80 million of revenue went into the economy of the city of Indianapolis, that weekend. So yeah, it's expensive to go. So it's really cool that Gen Con are like, let's make sure that if things are happening here, that they are exciting experiential things. So last year, I came up with the idea to do our event room as a Call of Cthulhu New Year's Eve party room, which you were involved in. So, and I worked with you to schedule the games. I wrote a unique Call of Cthulhu scenario set during New Year's Eve to be run there. We ran a really cool New Year's Eve themed LARP. We did all kinds of stuff. We had cosplayers out the front that were like slowly turning into Cthulhu type beasts while they were giving out invitations to come check out our special room. This year we were going to do things. We were thinking like, let's do the same thing, but with RuneQuest. Then we thought, oh, look, given the 50th anniversary, let's just make it a not generic, but broad sweeping. This is the Chaosium's 50th anniversary celebration room. Yeah. So there was less of an actual ongoing theme, but like that was something that happened this year. But we were doing Pendragon, RuneQuest, Call of Cthulhu, and also Age of Vikings and BRP, and we had way more creators there this year. So I also worked with them to organize like, hey, not just running VIP games, but run some VIP workshops, one of which you did, Bridgett, which was very cool. But that's sort of what I do, is sort of like the top level, like high concept stuff of what we have to do, and then also justifying it to the ownership of it's like, hey, here's why you should fly out all these creators to do this stuff, and here's how we're going to make that money back. Because Gen Con for us is it's not a money-making exercise. It's like a marketing community outreach thing, and it's expensive, and we sell stuff, but we sell stuff because ideally we will break even on our costs because it's expensive to go to Gen Con, whether or not you're attendee or not. So, yeah.
Fantastic articulation on that one. And thank you, Brian, because I get that question a lot. And I'm like, what does that look like? How does that work? And things of that nature. So thank you for that. So a lot of that experience, that immersion, that celebration, guys, that is all running through Brian Holland, rocking those things out. So I do have a slideshow playing in the center. I captured a bunch of photos from Brian's Facebook. Yeah. And then I've captured them from I did have a single picture of that banner, Holland, which looked amazing. You were kind of like doing the fun pose in front of it, which is
the big banner that I had. Yeah, I was trying to articulate just how big it was because when I took a photo of it without anybody there, and like, oh, no, you need to see how big this banner is. So I'll go stand in front of it.
Yes.
I'm 6'3" and a bit. Someone asked how tall I was at one point. I don't know why.
6'3" and a bit. One of the pictures, I think you're probably towering over me, and they're just like, wait a second, how tall is Holland?
Yeah.
Big shout out to the cosplayers that were there last year. That's Anthony and Brianna, correct?
Yeah. So that's I can't pronounce it. It's like Utahime cosplay, I think, and Andrew J. Alandi. So they were there last year and this year as cosplayers. So.
Guys, they are so incredible. So these cosplayers are literally hired to engage with individuals walking past the outside of the room. So that massive walkway, that thoroughfare, they hand out flyers and they do invitations. So to Holland's point, last year they were doing the rapidly decaying Cthulhu. You can see a bunch of pictures of them right now. They came as Bronze Age heroes. They came as Pendragon, which like actual heavy plated armor they were wearing. They were absolutely incredible. They're such a fun attraction to have on the outside of the room. And honestly, they're just genuinely sweet people. So they're super great to work with. Okay, so Brian, I am going to turn off the general slideshow and I'm going to turn on the
Sure.
table in the round. Talk to us about what this event
Oh,
was.
yeah, cool. All right. So some things spawn from restrictions that you're given. So the ICC, which is the Indianapolis Convention Center, which is where Gen Con takes place, has some very strict rules about what you can do inside those rooms. So one of the things I also do is I send them the floor plan of what the room is going to look like, and then we are not allowed to change it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So last year I wanted to do a actual play game in our room one evening, and I was like, oh, we'll just have to move the tables and chairs. And they said, no, you cannot do that unless you pay basically a few $1,000s for some of their people to come and do it. Which I kind of respect to a degree. Like they're all unionized labor guys. That's cool, but also we're just moving chairs and tables.
Literally,
Like,
guys, you can't move chairs
what's the
and
worst thing that
tables. You can't pin something
so
to the
for the
wall.
last couple of years, our live play stuff we've done in like their various live play halls, which are cool, and they seat like a few hundred people, and we always sold them out. But they are just convention center halls. Like there's not a lot of atmosphere. So I thought I had this year. So we're not allowed to move the tables and chairs. Let's have all the tables and chairs are circular. Let's have our performers sit on the middle table. Around the circular table and have everybody else almost like seated like if you've gone to a comedy club with circular tables where you sort of sit there and you relax and check it out. And that made it was more intimate. There were fewer people there. The ticket price was higher because it was a more exclusive event. And we turned the lights off and had lamps and stuff, and it actually created some really good atmosphere and mood. And you were there for the start of it as well. So I mean, I'd love to hear what you thought of it. So yeah,
no, I thought this was absolutely great. So I wasn't sure what it was going into it, guys, but it's literally a live show, but it's way more intimate, and just the way that it's set up makes it a lot more fun. So I'll at least explain this much because I thought it was pretty cool the way Holland had this articulated on the front end. So the line is wrapped around the hallway. You can't see inside the room. All of the lights are turned out except for some eerie mood lighting that's sitting around tables, like basically candlelight that's kind of like dancing around the room. And what he had myself and Paul Fricker doing was going outside into the hallway, confirming how many guests were in your party in like this eerie but professional type of way. And then we would only lead those people in, but we would shut the door on everyone else so they couldn't see it. So there was all this growing anticipation in the hallway because they didn't know what they were walking into. They didn't know what it looks like. And then we would lead these parties in group by group in total darkness. The only thing that we had illuminating our pathway was the cell phone torch, the light on our phone that'd get them to the table. And so the entire room is dark, it's moody, and then Holland comes out and he introduced the guests, which, by the way, can you just give us the rundown on everyone that you were able to secure for this damn actual play?
Sure.
Holy cow.
They're all people that we worked with before, which we're very excited to do it. So we had Nora Ibrahim, who's people would know her from LA by Night, and I think she was on New York by Night as well. She was also on Graveyards of Arkham. We had Rob Kirkovich, was the third lead on 7 seasons of NCIS New Orleans, as I like to bring up every time I'm around him, to his frustration. But he's just a very fun big nerd performer. Does a lot of stuff with the Glass Cannon. We had Paula Deming, who's from Things Get Dicey. She does like a comedy YouTube stuff for board games. She's great. And obviously a big Cthulhu fan. She did stuff with Becca Scott on the Calyx back deep in the pandemic, which was very cool. Mark Meir, Commander Shepard, he was there. He basically, didn't originally cast him, but when he saw it was happening, he emailed saying, "Can I please get in because I want to play with Mike Mason?" And I said, "Sure, we can fit you in. That's all right." And he literally said, "I will do it for free." So we did end up paying him, of course, but that's how keen he was because he really wanted to play with Mike Mason. Mike Mason, who is the creative director of Call of Cthulhu, and the man without which there is no Call of Cthulhu. He ran the game, which was good. And then we also had Ross Bryant, who does a lot of stuff with Ain't Slade. And it is just a very good talent in his own right. Does a lot of acting stuff out in LA. And lastly was Ashley May, and she's not as high profile as some of the other people we had. She's just a very talented young streamer who's very passionate, and she's a dynamite GM and runs a lot of stuff at GenCon and DragonCon and other cons that she goes to. She runs Call of Cthulhu stuff. And we've sort of given her, some books and stuff to give away at her live shows. But this was sort of, almost like a maybe welcome to the big leagues thing kind of thing for her, because I invited her, like, "Hey, would you like to come and do this?" And she said she was ecstatic. So That was very fun. I think that was everybody. Did I miss anybody?
No, I think you caught
Maybe.
everyone, baby. That was an amazing cultivation of talent. Just top, and then of course it's Mike Mason, guys. You get Mike Mason in his element. It's just honestly a stellar thing. So yeah, the table in the round was a really well attended event. I had a fan come up to me the following day when I was working in the room that says, please, please, please bring it back next year. And his feedback was run it all 3 nights until midnight. So do like a 3-hour table in the round to like 9 p.m. to midnight and have it end at midnight every night. And he said that he would pay double every single night for that experience. And those tickets were $34 a pop. They were not cheap to get into.
Yeah, and look, here's what I admit to just you in the chat that the day before ticket sales went up, I actually reduced the price of the tickets because I was worried they were going to be too expensive. Because there's nothing worse than having what is supposed to be an intimate performance than having not many people there. It's kind of really, as a performer, that's tough. And I was worried, like, oh no. But then it sold out immediately, and I was like, damn it, we definitely could have charged more and helped. Again, we're not making money off this. This is mostly covering the costs. Like, we had to pay for audio installation so people, could actually hear the performers. Like, we weren't making money off this event. It was just a really cool thing to be able to put on for the attendees.
Yeah.
And we that particular event did not break even. So next year we probably will increase the ticket price. Particularly if we've got people coming up saying, I would have paid double,
Yeah.
So,
and then wants to do it for 3 nights in a row too, baby. He was real
wow, that's pretty intense. Yeah.
But you get that type of talent surrounded by Mike Mason in an atmosphere like that. Like, that's a delight for Gen Con when you're watching your favorite creators and performers that you only see on the other side of a monitor, and suddenly you get to sit in a room with them, take selfies and get autographs afterwards. Like, it's a great experience. Yeah. It's a great experience. It's a great experience. It's a great experience. Okay. Guys, Holland is at work because on his what time of the world, like, it's probably like 10 o'clock in the morning right now. And because of all
it's 10:50 a.m.
10:50 a.m. Okay, which is 8:50 over here the day behind him.
Yeah. It's 10:50 Thursday morning.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep this party moving just out of respect for his time and his day job, especially because we had all of these false starts. So really fast, the one thing I did wanted to really fast, just clarify. How many minutes more do I have you, Brian? Do I need to sum this up in 10 minutes?
Oh, roughly. Yeah, I can go a little bit over, but I do have another thing just after 11.
Nope, you are good. Yeah. So, another big thing that happened at Gen Con that was personally amazing for me is I was able to host the ENnies for the second time in a row, which was an absolutely incredible.
And that is, as far as I'm aware, that is the first time ever someone's done it 2 years back to back.
2 years in a row. So yeah, that's what
I've heard. You must have been very well deserved and very impressed them a lot.
Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. Guys, I enjoyed the hell out of it. Some of the rapid fire questions I always get on the ENnies is this a paid gig? No, it is not. But let me tell you, the networking and the ROI on it is pretty incredible, just with the exposure and just being there to celebrate some of the best moments in some of these creators' lives. It's an amazing thing. If we had more time, I would go through the list of all of the fun stuff that Chaosium was nominated for, because community content dog walked in a most beautiful way. I think there were 5 different nominations up, from best community content to best supplement to an actual play. Really amazing things happen at the ENnies. And I think Chaosium wanted up taking home. How many did we get, babe? Overall, 3? You came up on stage.
I came up on stage to accept the Pendragon map one because David Larkins wasn't there, and neither was Francesca, who drew the map.
Yeah.
And then we won for, I'm just remember we won a best setting for the Dragon Pass book that Jason Dural went up to collect. We got a couple of the community content ones. Was the what we got? I'm trying to think of the Cthulhu Ireland book.
Yep, for best setting.
That one won. And was it called Deadbeats? The one from the guy in the UK who actually gave me a copy when I was over there earlier in the year, which is really cool. It's a little zine type thing. That one, and then we did win. And the best RPG related product for the what is that? Because beginning readers
readers won too. Yeah. So that was actually more like 5 or 6.
yeah.
So fantastic.
And I'm probably forgetting some, but yeah, it was good. Ones that were the RSOR community content under us. So yeah.
Which is, guys, most of the people in the chat right now are either community content creators on the Miskatonic repository, are getting ready to be. I see you right there, Perry. Yep, you're on your way. Or buyers and fans, and that's just something we genuinely appreciate. Okay, I'm going to keep this party moving just out of respect for Holland's time, and this is going to be a great way to figure out whether or not we're going to say goodbye to Holland now, or we're going to keep them for the next 8 minutes, because I am
Oh.
going to play the video that Carl
Oh.
made us for the Symphony / Chaosium LARP, the mine that wasn't made that was run at
Oh,
GenCon.
cool.
So
Yeah. I would
this
like to
might
see
be
this.
good night.
If
Or
at least last time when you played the video, I've still been able to watch it.
look at God.
So worst case, I will still get to see it, at least part of it, before
So
we
at
shut
least
down.
we'll see what happens from there. I might see you on the back end, Holland. I might not, guys. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
But here is the video that Carl made us
All
for the
right.
mine that wasn't made. No more videos, apparently, because that's nonsense. And then what I'm going to do, just because you guys have been so incredibly patient, and now I'm annoyed, this is what, the 7th time this damn thing is dropped. I'm just going to go ahead and get ready to close this out. But I did want to hit a few of our backer questions, because my backers are some nonsense. So, Snoops came in with a great question, which, what was your favorite panel and which one inspired you the most? Ray, I didn't get a chance to sit in on any panels at GenCon. I think I looked at my hours. I got there Wednesday and I left Sunday, and I did 46 hours worth of work in just those 4 days. I didn't get a chance to play any games. I didn't get a chance to run any games other than a LARP. So it was just it was just working and running and doing like 15 to 16,000 steps a day. So I didn't get a chance to check out any panels. One of the Nate questions was, how could you betray Geneva, Wisconsin by going to Indianapolis? Easy. By doing just that, Nate. I hate you. Go back to underneath the river. Doc, how was it finally making it to the Lucas Oil Stadium? That was a fun thing for me. This was my very first time on all the times I've gone to GenCon, actually going to the Lucas Oil Stadium. So that was a trip and a half just to be able to go and look around and enjoy. So that was fun. It's also one of those things, it's kind of cool to walk into an NFL stadium and be like, dude, this is filled with nerds. Woof. Also, it's where all the food trucks was. And let me tell you, I tore those food trucks up. Best food in Indianapolis? Doc? Harry and Izzy sound almost duh. But let me tell you, I don't think I had any bad food while I was there, except for a couple of food trucks fell short. But like all of the surrounding food for downtown Indianapolis is just good food. Like literally you eat well while you're there, as long as you're not eating at the hotel. But to Holland's point, the prices get jacked up. The wait times are terrible and exhausting. So eating at GenCon becomes not a hurdle, but kind of like a tactical assault that you have to go on. When can you DoorDash? Can you afford to DoorDash? Do you want to stand in an hour line? Is it worth getting it to go? That's going to be 45 minutes. Do you want to try to do a food truck? When is the best time to go to a food truck? It's some logistics. I'm just trying to get fed. Favorite announcement that you saw at GenCon? I don't think I remember seeing any announcements. I was super excited about a Gen Con. I feel like was a Critical Role had some pretty big news that kind of spilled out, but I don't follow that platform very closely, but I heard a lot of people talking about it, but I don't think I had a favorite or least favorite announcement that fell out at Gen Con, mostly because again, it was 46 hours at 4 days. I was beating feet, honey. Green room situation at the ENnies. Nate, it doesn't exist. So the ENnies are in the old railway station. So like you still got the stained glass and the big open area, and there's no green room. You have the sound and the technicians that are off to the right. You have the stage in front of you, and then that's it. There's no green room situation. There's no real behind the scenes. Me and the other hosts all got our on the stage training 20 minutes before the show. It's like, here's your iPad, do this, click this button, good luck and have a good time. That's about the most amount of prep and green screen room time that you get when dealing with the ENnies. Any hot tips for saving $1 at this expensive ass event? Ooh. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Live Producer. So season 4 being announced and the new announcement of a new GM on Crit Raw. I know a lot of people were talking about it. I just don't follow that platform closely, so I didn't metabolize well. Thank you, baby. Tips on saving money at the Gen Con. Yeah, guys, if you can afford to ride share and room share, obviously that's going to shave down on money. Food is exceedingly expensive, so if you can pack food, especially fresh fruit, that is a game changer. Water is criminally expensive. I'm talking about like a convention center bottle of water might have been like $6-7 a bottle for maybe like a 12 ounce of like the world's worst water, which is Dasani, in case you were wondering. It's terrible. One of the ways that I saved, what I can say probably $200-300, is by getting an insulated water bottle and refilling it at my hotel every morning from their water, and then refilling it at the water stations that they have all around the hotel. Every time I went to a restaurant, I got fresh ice and fresh water. From a hydration standpoint, Symphony is always thirsty, but you can literally save hundreds of dollars on not drinking soda, beer, or just not buying bottled water and getting you an insulated mug. That helps out significantly, big time. Nate, how do you manage to have fun at a con when I'm not there with you? You know, Nate, I still just haven't figured it out. I just don't know. I haven't figured it out. And let's do one more backer question. What do we have? What else do we have? Anything fun on here? What is the most rewarding part of Gen Con? That's coming in from Doc, and I think that's a very valid question. Guys, it's 70,000-80,000 people. It's a lot of people. A lot of these encounters are very crash into you and go. So my day might be, hey, explaining what Cthulhu is to a 12-year-old that just walked into the room and has no idea what a role-playing game is, to some guy staring at me really hard, and then I'm going like, is everything okay? And he comes, he was like, are you Moni off of Ain't Slayed Nobody? Just recognize the voice. So connecting with fans. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of investment. But I think the most rewarding part of Gen Con, other than successfully surviving it, is the professional networking capabilities and access that you get there. Because it's almost like one of those things, anyone who's anywhere, it's almost at Gen Con. So your celebrity streamers and influencers and gamers, you get a chance to meet them and come face to face with them. And that's incredible. The people that you follow in the industry, your favorite writers and developers and designers, they're going to be there. You get an opportunity to connect with them. The experience itself, if you are looking to do anything professionally in this industry, Gen Con is a mighty, mighty opportunity that I would highly recommend to do, just because the ROI on the connections you make at a convention that invites in and brings in that caliber of creators and professionals in the industry is absolutely worth it. So with that being said, thank you guys for your patience. I think we did a stop and start 8 times on this Symphony Lounge, which I'm so irritated about. The good thing is, God bless Carl. Carl is probably going to be able to fix this so the YouTube version doesn't have to deal with this. Brian Holland, you are not here, but thank you so much for taking time out of your morning to come onto the stream. Thank you for your patience with all of this nonsense that just happened. Chat, you guys are incredible. Thank you guys. Genuinely, thank you. To the Symphony Discord that just got hit with like 9 or 10 everyone ats every single time I had to go live, I'm really sorry. We're going to be back tomorrow with a live stream of The Art of Hygge with Paul Homeland which I probably mispronounced all of that. And I'm going to hope and pray that the signal and Streamlabs is doing better tomorrow than it is today. Again, if you sat through this entire live stream with all of the hiccups and starts, please email me at Symphony Entertainment GA, Gaming and Art, so Symphony Entertainment GA at gmail.com, and I will give you a complimentary PDF copy of anything that Symphony has published. So by all means, definitely take me up on that one, because your time is valuable when you chose to spend it here despite all of the frustrating hiccups. So I love you, Symphony. If you like this content, you would like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. That might give me enough money to hire somebody to investigate why Streamlabs hates me, because at this point I think it's personal. Mwah. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.